We get a weather forecast from the state of Maine. Good afternoon. My name is Tom. I come to you from the great state of Maine. What's left of it anyways? What's left of the great state of Maine? Now that we've had a governor that has completely trashed this state from top to bottom, I guess you all know where my mindset is today. Well, we won't spend the whole video trashing on the governor, although she deserves it. Oh, I'm just in a good mood today. The temperatures have finally dropped around here. I got up this morning and it was kind of chilly out on the porch this morning when I let the dog out for her morning run. So that was good to see. Finally, we turned the corner. We haven't turned it completely. Our hot days are not gone by a long shot. We have to make it through the month of August, and most of the time we have to make it through the month of September now. September can still have some warm days. What's nice at the cabin is they're cool nights. Once the sun starts to set, then the temperature will start to cool down, and it makes for a nice evening. Either out here working in the shop, working on equipment, or hanging out at the cabin on the front porch. Either or. I've still got a little bit more to do up there before deer season gets here. I got the shop jacked up. I've got the fire building jacked up. So that means I've got to put in a ramp to get up into the fire building. I think what I'm going to use this time is I'm going to use some railroad ties. I know where there is a pile of scrapped railroad ties. They've been changing the railroad in the state of Maine for the last few years, and there is piles and piles and piles of this stuff if you know where to look. So anyways, I think I'm going to stop, get me 3 of those so I've got a nice ramp, and then build it out of railroad ties this time. Working on the tractor, as you can see, I got hydraulic hoses in front of me. If you want to know the story on all these hydraulic hoses, go check out the Patreon channel. The Patreon channel is where I am hosting and posting most of the addition to the East Grand family, which is a 4-in-1 case bulldozer. I've got some projects coming up that's going to be a part of. You will find that interesting. One of the projects will involve rifles and pistols. So how do we do that with a bulldozer? I've got the grandkids convinced that we're going to have bulldozer races here at the cabin. So they're looking forward to coming over to the bulldozer races. Oh, it's a barrel of fun having grandkids. Anyways, I marked out a bunch of rhubarb right on this knoll so that I can move it. It's never really done that great there, but it is surviving, and I've been pulling rhubarb out of it for years and it keeps popping up, so I keep saving it and replanting it over in the rhubarb patch. But I marked out, I don't know, half a dozen. You mark them out so you can find them in the fall. I like to transplant this stuff in October, 1st of November area, when everything is shutting down, and then the rhubarb can open itself up in the spring and do really well that way. It seems to transplant a lot easier that way and survive. So any of you know when I do my rhubarb planting, it's in late fall. It's in late fall, and I don't know, I at least got a half a dozen, and I got a really big one that's doing really good over on the end. I wasn't going to move it, but now that I'm going to clean up that hill with that dozer, I need to move that rhubarb patch because that one is doing really well. Oh, it's got leaves on it that big around, and it gives a lot of rhubarb. So we're definitely going to transplant that down into the rhubarb patch. I'm in the process of making it a huge rhubarb patch. I don't have any idea why. I just like watching rhubarb grow. I don't need nearly the amount of rhubarb that this patch will produce. But it is fun to watch it grow. It is fun to watch it come back. And it's something that this old boy really enjoys doing, is adding to that rhubarb patch. I've got this patch right here. I've got another patch. There's actually 4 patches on this backyard around the shop that's growing rhubarb. And they're anywhere. They're about 10 feet wide by 20 feet long, and there's 4 of them. So my plan is to make more room. What's happening is my tree cover is filling in, so the rhubarb's not getting quite as much sun that it needs. So with my dozer and with that bucket, I'm going to open up an area to allow a little bit more sunlight in on an area, and that's where I'm going to transplant this mound of rhubarb too, as well as I've got another spot over there that I'm going to move, basically because I need the room to have the tractors back there for maintenance and stuff like that. So right off to my left is going to be the tractor parking lot. That's for this one and the 4-in-1 dozer that I'm working on now. I got it for a really good deal. It just needed a bunch of mechanical work done to it. I am coming to the end of the mechanical work, and it's going to be a really good dozer. Really good dozer. A lot of people looked at it, and a lot of people walked off from it because of the, and it was mainly right here, just hydraulic leaks. Hydraulic hoses were leaking, cylinders were leaking. Everything else, oh man, the tractor runs good, it steers good, all of that. So they walked off because of, and there was electrical problems. So the electrical problems are solved, the hydraulic hoses are getting solved, the cylinders are getting solved. I have 2 of them. There's only 3 cylinders that were leaking. I have 2 of them rebuilt. I've got the material to rebuild the 3rd one. The 3rd one's not leaking too bad, so I'm going to put that on the back burner for a little while and use the tractor. And then later on, when I don't need the tractor, then I'm going to tear that cylinder apart as well and clean up that cylinder and get that cylinder so it stopped leaking. But that is why he had probably a couple of people a week looking at that tractor while it was for sale. But because of the leaks, I guess they didn't want to take the time to repair them. And it hasn't been that difficult. My concern is getting them apart. You know, they gonna, I mean, tractor that's almost 50 years old. Are these fittings gonna break loose? The same thing on the cylinders. Was the cylinders gonna break loose? And so far, well, I know all the hoses will. I've gone around and cracked every single one of them, and then tightened them back up. So I know all the cylinders are loose. I mean the hoses. And the only other thing now is that last cylinder. If I can get that apart, then everything was no problem at all. The alternator right now has been sent out to be rebuilt. It was not producing any electricity for the battery, so I'll get that back hopefully by the end of the week. Reinstall that, putting these on there, and then we're going to be moving on with the dozer projects for East Grand Woodsman. And I can guarantee you they all have something to do with deer hunting, trapping, and fishing. But right now, It's just a busy time for the East Grand Woodsman. But deer seasons are coming. So have one more. This is lemonade water. Have one more sip of lemon water with me. And I will see you next week.